The Azovstal steelworks in Mariupol has become a symbol of Ukrainian resistance. In a network of underground bunkers, civilians and Ukrainian soldiers have been trapped for months as Russian forces close in. Hundreds of people have been evacuated from Mariupol, including some from inside the plant. But some civilians and soldiers have refused or been unable to leave in the last stand for the steelworks.
Мы бы так бы играли в телефон, но хочется домой, хочется солнце увидеть.
Mariupol is of huge strategic importance. The southern port city is just over 30 miles from the border with Russia. Right in the city centre lies the vast Azovstal steel and iron works. It's a total maze of warehouses and industrial facilities, and the Ukrainians have defended it from the beginning. Initially, the Russian advance was held back to the city's outskirts, but as the war's gone on, Russian forces have closed in. By late April, the Azovstal plant was the only part of Mariupol not in Russian hands. And by May, Russian forces had cut off the steelworks entirely and begun its bombardment in earnest. But the site has been the target of airstrikes and shelling since the very start of the conflict. This footage shows a Ukrainian tank outside one of the main entrances on the first day of the war. The area now is almost completely unrecognisable. And while the site was under bombardment, in the tunnels and shelters beneath, civilians were hiding.
Скажите, с какого периода вы здесь?
Со 2 числа.
С 2 марта, да? Сколько у вас тут людей?
85, 17 детей и 6 инвалидов.
Most of the information coming out of the plant initially came from Ukrainian sources. This footage is said to have been filmed on March 24th.
Кушать, вода.
Пока немножечко есть, пока.
But by mid-April, units allied with Russia began releasing footage from around the industrial complex. This propaganda video from the Donetsk People's Republic's Telegram channel shows them firing in the direction of the plant. Inside the Azovstal bunkers, civilians were still hiding. The same woman we saw in a video from March appears again in this clip from April 23rd. By the time this clip was filmed, it appears she'd been living underground for at least a month. A bloody standoff between Russian and Ukrainian troops was looming.
Це може бути нашим останнім зверненням. В нас, можливо, залишились лічні дні або години.
The remaining Ukrainian soldiers issued pleas for international help.
Ми звертаємось з проханням застосувати до нас процедуру екстракшн та вивести нас на територію третьої держави.
But on the 21st of April, Russian President Vladimir Putin cancelled any assault, asking instead for the site to be completely blockaded.
У нас надзвичайно обмежені ресурси. Хлопці просто помирають на очах через те, що немає можливості їх евакуювати, немає їх можливості нормально долікувати.
It was after this that the United Nations stepped in to help those still stuck inside. Working with Russia, they escorted over 100 civilians to the town of Zaporizhzhia, and charities like the Red Cross also helped with the evacuations.
На Азовстале бомбят. Бомбят бесперерывно. Они постоянные самолеты. В принципе, когда нас эвакуировали, было спокойно более или менее, но все равно страх оставался, потому что в течение 2 месяцев нас бомбили с 3 сторон. И корабли, и авиация, и грады.
But Russian airstrikes continued to pound the complex. And reports of a renewed Russian ground assault on the site surfaced from Ukrainian officials. Ukrainian forces, however, remained defiant. This video appears to show some singing patriotic songs at night at the steel plant. Sky News hasn't independently verified when it was filmed. The battle for Mariupol has become one of the defining tragedies of the Ukrainian war, and this sprawling industrial site has been the last pocket of resistance.
There are heavy, bloody battles. I am proud of my soldiers for making inhuman efforts to contain the enemy's onslaught. I thank the whole world for the tremendous support of the Mariupol garrison. Our soldiers deserve it. The situation is extremely difficult, but we continue to carry out the order to keep the defense despite everything.